So we've discussed the powerful benefits of a ketogenic lifestyle, but there are some common mistakes that can limit us from experiencing the full benefits. And if we make these mistakes, they can often cause us to have a bad experience with keto. So let's take a closer look at these common mistakes and how we should address them. So mistake number one is you don't consume enough calories or enough fat. Many people simply do not eat enough calories. We're trying to restrict carbohydrates, and so oftentimes we just don't eat enough, and particularly enough healthy fats when we're attempting to transition into our keto lifestyle. Fasting, I'm a huge advocate of intermittent fasting, and even calorie restriction have their place, but if we're routinely restricting calories and we're doing it too much, it's just too stressful on the body, and it can lead to fatigue, trouble sleeping, thyroid, and adrenal issues. So the second big mistake is that you're just not adequately hydrated. So most people just do not drink enough water. I recommend consuming an absolute minimum of half your body weight in ounces of water daily. So what does that mean? I'm 160 pounds. So half my body weight would be 80 ounces of water. Now, if you're really, really large, like if you're 300, 400 pounds, obviously it can be tough to drink 150 to 200 ounces, but you should at least aim for 100 ounces of water on a daily basis. And you want to do that between meals. You see, good hydration will help you feel more energized and help you move your bowels and prevent constipation. Most of your hydration, again, should come between meals. I'm a huge fan of super hydrating your body in the morning by drinking 32 ounces of water within the first hour of waking. And for some of you guys, that really seems like a lot, okay? You could start with 8 to 16 ounces, but over time, start gradually working your way up, and you'll notice that your body actually starts to crave the water, crave the hydration. And when you drink water like this, it's gonna help open up your drainage pathways, help you move your bowels, and cleanse your system. So the third big mistake I see people making is they're not consuming adequate electrolytes. And I mean by electrolytes, particularly salt. You see, staying hydrated is not just about drinking enough water, you'll also need good minerals. Without them, you'll never maximize your fat burning potential. Your nervous system, so your brain, all your nerves, they use electrolytes to send messages to the body. And if you're not taking enough electrolytes, it can cause fatigue, dizziness. Also, muscle cramping is another big issue that people will deal with when they don't have the electrolytes. So these electrolytes are extremely important in the early phases of keto adaptation. During this process, our insulin levels drop, and that leads to a major loss of sodium. You see, higher levels of insulin, like when we're on a high carb diet, those higher levels of insulin trigger sodium retention in the body. And you've probably heard of people being on a low salt diet in order to reduce their blood pressure, right? People with high blood pressure, they wanna be on a low salt diet. And that makes sense if somebody's on a high carb diet, because if they're eating a lot of carbs, lots of breads, pasta, they're gonna end up with higher insulin levels, and they're gonna retain more of that sodium, so they can't consume as much. However, on a keto diet, insulin levels drop and we lose the sodium. So be sure to use high quality sea salts on your foods and add a pinch to your water. You can even just take a little pinch, put it on your tongue, and just put it right on your tongue. And a lot of people notice that they immediately experience more energy. And so I always recommend using salt generously on your food, so you don't have to over salt it, but you should salt it up to your desired taste. And again, most people notice that when they increase salt intake, especially in the early phases of keto adaptation, when you first get started on this plan, it makes a huge difference in their energy levels, their mental clarity, and their just ability to be calm throughout the day, and also helps reduce cravings. The fourth mistake, and this is kind of more of an obvious one, is you're just eating too many carbs. See, if you're taking in an excess amount of carbs, your body's gonna use them for energy instead of fats. You're also gonna drive up insulin. And if you're just starting out in your keto journey, it's really essential to limit your net carbs. And so we look at net carbs. The way we calculate that is your total carbs minus fiber. So if something has 10 grams of total carbs and 5 grams of fiber, we would take the 10 minus 5, and that equals 5 grams of net carbs. So mistake number 5 is that you just have too much stress and not enough sleep. You see, stress and lack of good sleep are widespread issues in our society, and they're also two things that can stall your progress. And that's why for maximum results, it's best to begin a keto diet once you begin taking steps to reduce your stress load for at least a month. So if you feel overwhelmed by stress, it's just not a good time to make really almost any lifestyle change. You need to focus on just reducing the stress, whether it's a stressful relationship or massive stress in your schedule. Try to do what you can to start to mitigate that first before you get into the keto adaptation process. Because you see, in the beginning, the adaptation process of getting keto adapted, it can be somewhat stressful on the body. And that excess stress could prevent you from achieving ketosis. The good news is, after you become fat adapted, you're gonna notice that you're much more able to deal with stress. You just become more resilient to the daily demands. Hey, I'm Dr. David Jockers, doctor of natural medicine. And if you're looking to improve your health so you can look and feel your best, have your best brain, less pain, have more energy, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button. That way you get notified whenever I put up a new video. Thanks so much for doing that. Thank you for being a part of our community.